School Zone Liberia, promoting talents through academy.
School Zone Liberia.
Standing before you this afternoon. I'm from an organization called School Zone Liberia. We are into the hobby of promoting Liberian students through capacity building and social awareness. Today I'm here with the Liberian National Police. As you can see, they are here with us to give you some tips and information that you may be having doubt of. They will do the clarification. So we'll be speaking to you on two things. The first one is the danger of drugs while in school. So the teacher will be telling you what it is, and there will be time allotted to you for questions and answers. So I will ask that you get a pen and sheet of paper. As the teacher is teaching, you pen down your questions so that you can have the opportunity to learn it. And the good thing about it, we can't tell you when we will come around you again. So what you need to take from us today, you better take it from us, or you may not get it in the shortest possible time. So without much ado, we have a protocol in this presentation. We go around the country. We do the Liberian National Anthem. We have our seat. Then the first lecturer come on board to start the lecture. And have your beautiful seat. So please, if you have your phone, you can switch it on silent, or better still, cut it off for a short while. We are here not more than 1 hour, 30 minutes with you. Okay. So put your hands together as we call the first teacher on stage. Please clap your hands.
Hello again. Standing before you, I'm Clement JP. We are Deputy Community Policing Officer for Zone 4. And this happens to be my boss, Sergeant Fancy Bobo. We are responsible for the community policing section of the entire Ghana Zone, first from Double Bridge to Southern Creek Bridge, as far as going this way area. So,
hello. Please, gentlemen, we know we are students, right? But we have to pay some attention. Because you may not be smart like another person, or they may not be smart like you. So the small grumbling to disturb other people's way. So all these things here, we were not going to tell you about it, but we know that you may have heard about it somewhere. So don't act too strange and be like, oh. So you just listen to the teacher, so you will ask questions. We are recording it because we are telling it back to your ministry to know what you learned from here. Thank you.
so you are free for sorry, the projector will not yet on to start. So we are just talking about the difference between drugs and medicine. And what drugs can behave in 2 or 3 different ways. So there are 3 major. The first classification of drugs, we consider them depressants. We talk about depressants, these types of drugs slow down and weaken the operation of the brain, body, and nervous system. They result in heaviness or sensation in the arms and feeble legs. They also impair your thinking ability and give a blurred vision and sometimes slur speech. What are we saying? These are drugs that suppress the system. When people take these drugs, they become very weak. They will be a last giant. Somebody kidnapping and things are going on, or you see people raping and other things. They drug some of these people before they do this thing to them. They drug some of them before they do this thing to them. And the types of drugs that involve, we call it depressant. Depressant drug will weaken the body. Once somebody takes depressant, sometimes the person is asleep for 48 hours. They don't even care of getting up. They don't even care of eating or drinking. So imagine somebody gets sleeping and sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. So my first classification there, we call it depressant. And besides that, they give you blurred vision, slur speech. When it says slur speech, your tongue, the person's tongue becomes very heavy in the mouth and your voice is dragging. You will experience it. Most of you can't know what you're going to talk in your throat. There's only choking there. What? Drugs, what? Depressing drugs. They give them slur speech. Stimulant drugs, these types of drugs stimulate and increase the level of several chemicals in the brain, which result in inferior feeling, energy boost, happiness, and aggression or violence. The users also experience this feeling for a short while. Stimulants, they activate. It's just the opposite of the depressant. The depressant weaken, but the stimulant drugs, they activate. So some people, you know a person will be somebody very quiet, you know a person will be somebody very shy, you know a person will be somebody very easy. But all of a sudden, you see that person becoming wild, you see that person becoming violent, you see that person becoming aggressive. Well, that person has eaten drugs. And the drugs, the category of drugs is stimulant. So it stimulates the body, it stimulates the brain. Sometimes you see somebody just talking. What is it make the person overactive? So some of the guys you see they become so brave, aggressive. Some of them even require fighting, they feel relatively share and fight. Right, all the false bottle. So when the people only tell about drugs, they are very dangerous. They are very dangerous. And besides that, they give them strength. Once the person take it, so now it takes 4 or 5 minutes to hold that person down. Because that person is in drugs. So, but you know what happening there? Why making the person strong or making it strong? You know what happening? It's damaging the system. Because it's pushing the body beyond its limit. So if you take an elastic, the elastic will stretch from year to year. That's the normal limit. But because that elastic and desire to stretch it, it will recently play against stretch if you want a pop. So that's why it happens. That's what happens to the body. So the drugs will make you strong, it will make you strong, it will make you strong, it will make you brave, it will make send it down while the system in the body begin to collapse. And so all the person take that. After you see RMOGENS. They take this word, you can go there, they will tell you more about it. These are just brief, they are different. So, well, these drugs are very clear and can lead to mental disability, violence, or self-harm. Hallucinogens alter the user's sense of perception. The person can see, hear, taste, smell, or feel things that may seem real but not. So, we see somebody talking about a side, they're talking, or somebody, when we say a person going crazy. That drugs, that's what they tell about drugs, they do. Only you won't see things. Only you won't hearing voices. Because when people are into drugs, you see that certain person or person going crazy. So drugs can make people crazy. You know that? Yes. Drugs can make people crazy. Mental disability. They lose their mind. Because in category of drugs, you will see things that are not real. You will hear voices. You will hear sound. You will see things working on your skin. You will see things on your body, but they are not real. But because of the drugs here, and so because of that, it can result of self-harm. It can result of one suicide. The category of drugs. Okay, so if somebody can stay under there or under the belly and they're looking on the floor, I mean they ground there, they don't one step. They don't care, they may drugs. You can't change your body and get inside. What are these drugs composed of? The very first thing I want to understand that with the exception of marijuana, most of the drugs you see, they are made of dangerous chemicals from illegal laboratories. So, some of these chemicals include acid and baking powder. They mix it with drugs. Chlorine, they are found in the drug. Gasoline, they mix it with these drugs. They pink, they tin up for the pink. They mix it with drugs. They let for powder. What you see here, there's no drugs in the lead you see. Most of the time, now you see people getting on the one side because I got 2 days over there. Because there is certain chemical or powder in our drug that is very harmful in the usage of drugs. It's also addictive. And sometimes, in some cases, the hemo bones, they grind the dry bones, they grind it and they mix them with these drugs. They do all these things because why? They want to make the drug strong. They want to make the drug effective. So you just take drug and you can't be check your face, they're not strong. So they will put the chemical into it to make these drugs very strong. So there are several drugs in the world today. There are several drugs. There are so many drugs in circulation. But we are not going to limit ourselves. We are going to limit ourselves. It's almost like ice. It's not cold, but it appears like ice or glass. What is it? So they come in, put it there, they crack it, they crack it, they crack it, they crack it. And I don't know, they salted beef it. I don't know who have seen the barrel when it comes in the barrel. But some rock can be in it. Almost those days, I don't know why it still comes that way. But you know, they beef it in your can, in your barrel, and get some rock sauce. You see that they have some of these things, they look like. But the guys who use them, they will put it there, now they don't want to knock it, they small, they take it, put it back. Keep it there. Go most of the ghettos in there, you see people transacting. People transacting. And they take these things, there are so many ways to take them. Methamphetamine or crystal meth is a wet crystal drug that comes in the form of glass or ice. You should take about snorting inhaled through the nose, smoking it or injecting it into the food. It can also be taken orally. So we are already described, you are already seeing the description. You already seen the description why it's not there. So how do they take them? Number one, it can be inhaled. And inhaled in one way. As you saw the glass there, or the solid one you saw there. They look for metal object in the form of a glass or aluminum foil. Okay? They will put just a small piece on that aluminum foil and hang it like this and take pipe or even the pen. The ink pen, they'll take the ink pen with the tube, especially the one that wire inside. They'll loosen the one, they won't have the tube inside. Okay? They'll use it selector, they put it under that aluminum foil or under that glass. And a piece of the meth is seated on the glass. And the meth begins to heat, it starts to evaporate. And that vapor or that smoke or that steam that is coming from there, they begin to inhale it. So that how the meth is inhaled. Most of the drugs are inhaled it. So sometimes they smoke it, sometimes they dilute it, dissolve it in the water and it's injected in the vein. So another thing is physical evidence you see on most of the drugs are especially those that do the intravenous. We talk about intravenous, we talk about taking it through the vein. Now, the skin on your hand, you see the mark, black. All of marks you see so that no holes, no mark. Because almost every 2-3 days, they have to go for a drug use. Every 2-3 days, so if you put it up, within 1 year time, you see that what's in there? Rashes. Now, the second one is called tramadol. Tramadol is a big killer. And the drugs, they come in different shape and form. The drugs, they come in different shape and form. Tramadol is used mainly for pain. People in extreme pain, they take these drugs, they give them aid to suppress the pain or reduce the pain. But now it's being abused. When somebody is under the effect of tramadol, when you beat a man, do the last stage to beating, bleeding with bruises all in one tear, you not see coming from that person's heart because they're not feeling anything. And you have me, you see them somewhere, you see them running, get them poor beating there. They see them crying, but you see one drop of tear coming from the heart. He's not feeling anything because you are eating drugs. People take this drug, the people on the poverty, they start for the drug test and they go through. That's what the drugs they go for. Because when you take the drugs, you go to feel your play 90 minutes, you can't even get tired. You can't get tired. Why somebody play for 20 minutes, but you never want to play 5 you can't get tired. The person using battery. So when they catch you, so now they suspend you, so now they ban you. For anti-doping for drugs. So these are some of the drugs that people take. Talk about health effect. Health effect. I'm not saying everybody with decaying teeth or drugs, or bone is on drugs. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everyone with decaying teeth or bone is on drugs. Majority of drugs use up. The teeth decay, the bone damage. So what you saw on the screen there was the physical when you see the teeth. Can you see your kidney? Can you see your lungs? Can you see your heart? Can you see your liver? What you see the drugs do to the teeth, it's the same thing the drugs do to the kidney. It's the same thing the drugs do to the liver. It's the same thing the drugs do to the heart.
Yeah, I'm student Lance Gelade from the 12th Science class. And I want to know if a substance can be a drug and also a medicine.
Medicine and drugs, they are used interchangeably. But once it is not prescribed, now all the substances that are used in the drugs are also used for medical purposes. Most of these things that are used in these illegal drugs, they are very dangerous chemicals. I need some of them. You got acid, you got chlorine, you got soda, baking powder, you got even gasoline, and so on. So now all the chemicals that are found in the drugs that are used for health purposes, no.
By way of introduction, I am a Dobbers ND Junior. My question is, what can induce a person into drug business?
What induce a person into drug business? Number one, I can say curiosity. Because you're curious, you want to know what it's like. You hear other people talking too, it may be peer pressure. Peer pressure. So, once you are curious and you want to know why people feel the way they feel, you decide to experiment, get into it. Or somebody encourage you to get into it, you will get into it. But most of the time, drugs is not something that people are taking forcibly and they are placed into it. So the best way is what involve people that you know or you are suspecting of being into drugs, or do not experiment yourself.
I am student Henry William from the 12th class. Yeah. So my question is, what are some of the preventive measures of drug abuse?
What we are doing here now, they are one of the methods. Educating people, creating the awareness, making people to know the danger associated with drugs. These are one of the preventive measures. 2, the ports of entry, borders. Our security there, they are also working every now and then. They are arresting good consignment and huge quantity of drugs. Also, we got agents on the field in the country. Anybody that is producing anything or growing any type of drugs, once it is reported, action is taken against that person. So, but I can tell you, arresting people, putting people in jail, raining, and so, it won't help. But the best is why educating people, making them to know the danger associated with this thing and help them to stay away.
You actually grew up in the 11th class. When you were explaining, you said crystal meth can be taken orally. So I want to know, how can it be taken orally?
Thank you. Orally, it can be taken, put into, you dissolve it in water, in the water drink, as oral. You will take it and place it under the tongue. They place it under the tongue. After some minutes, that will crack. It will be dissolving, and as dissolving, it mixing with the saliva, they are swallowing it. That's orally.
I'm a student, I'm from the 11th science class. My question is, what are some of the things government are doing to prevent the drug abuse and uses in the country?
Okay. I think I'll answer the question the same way I answer the brother asked for how it can be prevented. Now, the very first thing I tell you, one of the problems is that Liberia will have a weak drug law. Weak drug law is one of the problems. So if we got a strong drug law, it will also deter people, it will also prevent people, it will also stop people from bringing drugs in the country. So the thing you say is that what? That government is putting measures into place, but again our entry, say our entry, ports of entry, there are so many illegal areas, so many bypasses that we have, that security is overstretched, we cannot cover all. So, but for the basic one that we know of, there are a lot of measures being put into place. Huge consignment of drugs being arrested. Drug cases are in court. People are in service, people are in prison for this drugs issue. But the best way is to educate people, and that is what I will continue to say we are doing so. In the past, it was not like that. The young can raid the whole area, arrest everybody. Why you know? You don't know. Once you are around the carrier, and then after the screen, those that want to release, you go one side. Those that are show up the whole year, they send you to jail. But now, we want to start engaging people one-on-one, engaging people in a forum in order to create that awareness. So, there is the best means of preventing drugs.
I'm student J. Magnus now, and my question is, what are some of the measures government are putting in place to help drug abusers that are causing hazard to the government, to the society?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Number one, I said we have few rehab places. It's not hospital, but we call it rehab. Now, rehab is there. You go through landlord. physical, mental therapy. When you go through this thing, sometimes they give you 100 days, some people they get it 90 days, some people they get it 6 months. And if the very first thing I also want to say is that God is saying you can take your horse to the water, you cannot force the horse to drink. So if the individual is not willing, I don't care how many rehabs you open, how many rehabilitation you carry that person through, and that person come out after a few times, once that willingness is not there to cease, you find that person going to drugs. But I can tell you, government will got few rehabs, but again, we don't have the require or how do you call it, sir? I say, yeah, or caretaker or a minister or whatsoever to take care of those people, run those facilities. Also, too, the private ones that we have, they are very expensive. So, on the average, few people who got money and they find maybe the child or the children going all the way, they can take them there, and then I know people who are going through the process and they came through, and even today some of them they are working. But again, they left with the individual themselves.
I'm student Yolina Zamanko of the 12th class. No offense to my question, please. I really want to ask the government why they are doing with the DEA. Because for example, in some communities, when the DEA go raid certain ghettos, you hear the judge a lot of things say, it was take out weed bag, take out marijuana bag. And all I've seen it before. When they take it, when they see when the person pay a huge amount of money, give back to the judge. And it's not fair that we beg the government. You please help us. You please talk to your DEA so that they can be straightforward and stop taking drugs.
I'm student Focus Terrace from the 11th Science class. I want to ask the government why are some legal penalty that the judge dealer or person who taking drugs will take if they are caught with the drugs, and what are some methods or skills that the government can use for a person who is constantly taking drugs?
Referring to one, the drugs user and the drugs dealer. Now, for the user, it's criminal or what? The person that buys the drugs or take it is a crime. The person that's selling the drugs is also a crime. So, the very first thing, if anybody is caught with drugs, most of the time we are arresting people, they are not willing to tell you where they get the drugs from. The very first thing, they will not be willing. So somebody decide to go to jail and cover the other person up. But equally so, the laws are there, the courts are there. Again, our laws are very weak. Now, drugs law requires somebody to be bailed. And being bailed will not be a surprise in the court where somebody is taking your court, the lawyer can stand the person bond. So, once the person is arrested and they go to court, the person get a lawyer, the lawyer go and file the person bond, the next time you see the person back in the community. It's the same way with the dealer. The person that importing the drugs or whatsoever that distributing it, the person can be arrested, but when they arrested after a few days, the law enforcement, which is the first component of the criminal justice, they do their work, arrest the person, investigate, charge, send it to court. The next thing now, the lawyer go to court, sign for the person come back in the community. So the drugs law is very rich. For me, if I have my will, I will recommend that the drugs law become not bailable, so you cannot be bailed out.
Yeah, I'm student vegetable from the 12th class. I want to know what is the similarity between that of drugs and medicine, and how can we distinguish it from kind of it as a student?
Okay. I told you, drugs is any substance that affects the body and the brain function. That's the first thing. So, the only thing that we have over the illegality that is attached to it. But for training purpose, most of the time here we talk about drugs, we always refer to illegal drugs. So it don't have to be spelled out illegal drugs. But once you say drugs, you just secretly mental of drugs, DA mental of drugs, or drugs addict or whatsoever, we are referring to illegal drugs. But medicine and drugs, for health purpose, we can say there is no difference. They are the same. But once we come to the illegal drugs, and we just cut it short, we say drugs. We say something that somebody take that is not prescribed. They take it for their own happiness. They take it to make themselves feel fine. Maybe they take it because they want to be strong or they want to sleep in it. So then it becomes what? Drugs. But for medicine, once you sick and the doctor prescribe it, you go in purchase it, you take it, you get better. I don't think you will want to go back for some more again. But drugs, because it makes you feel fine, that fine feeling going, you want to take some.
School Zone Liberia is running around the country voluntarily by Liberians. You that are seated here, me and some other Liberian guys around the country. We went together and negotiated with the police, the government, to bring us the opportunity to bring the police to you, because it is their responsibility to tell you what you need to know. And they accepted that to happen. Sometimes we go around with the women and children's rights. So they didn't come with them here, but the next time I'm going to show you, we will bring them along and also tell you some things too about that. Now, School Zone Liberia is open to everybody. You got membership free of charge. Just be a youth that is ready to work with us and go to schools too as well. We train you how to go to other schools, to talk to other people. The question that was asked by our brothers and sisters, what is government doing? What is government into? How can we? What can we? I mean, I felt it. And government can't do anything without you, bro. That is why we volunteer ourselves. That is why we volunteer ourselves. We raise our own money. This program you see running here, I will tell you for free. I don't need to be paid for that. Government is not sponsoring it. No NGO is sponsoring it. We as youth, we take our salary from our companies we work with and from other places. We pay money to do this. They can get with me to that. Going around, talking to youth around Grand Chile, Sano, Maryland, we go all these places because we know that if we don't do this, in 10 years to come, you will not walk through the street. I live in a slum community. I don't live there now, but I grew up in a slum community. Very bad. Bad boys. I mean, if you manage to get a girl child and you are not careful, your girl child spoil. You understand? So these things grip our mind and we went on our feet, we funded this organization and we want you to be part of it. We want you. We are in almost all the high schools around the country. We need your own intervention to be part of this organization. We want a team in your school that we will always be coming or passing through the administration to get this information coming through. You may be privileged that your parents may be able to send you to a good school like this. But what happened to another person whose parent is not sending them to school that is doing drugs? Do you think if you live in your sky building, your wife, the day you get married, will be living in your building and go to market? Do you think so? No. She will driving car to go to market, she could be her job. Man, your daughter could be her job. So everybody needs to work. Government can't do it all, bro. Government can't do it all. I'm telling you the truth. So that is why we're not taking questions for you, though. No question for this presentation to give me. Brother, me, my brother.
Oh, bro, it's everybody then.
So please, if you want to be part of this organization, School Zone Liberia, that we can work together and impact many youth that Liberia can be safe for our own. Believe you me, if our grandparents and parents were doing this, we will not be going through the kind of trouble we are going through today. You understand? When you come from work with your laptop on your back after 9 o'clock when the car drives you to your junction, you are having to hold your laptop because your company laptop costs thousands of dollars to give to you. When you damage it, you get fired. So you want it to come home. Why should we be living like that? Because of drugs. So it is for you and me to fight it. Government alone can make it. I will tell you the truth. same God that is dressed up in a full police uniform and telling you that some entrances to your country, there is no police there. Did you hear that? Yeah. You heard that?
Yes.
It's clear enough to tell you that, man, you need to fight for yourself. I remember when the president said, Liberia, everybody should be saving for themselves. You understand that? So, in a nutshell, please, we are asking you as the senior students to be part of School Zone. We will have an organization based on here that we will always carry on this awareness. And School Zone does not only into talking about drugs. We promote talent positively. Some of you know, we build music studios in different communities. Music studios in different communities. But you don't do any music with School Zone. You write down your music, we critique the music, we stream the song. If your music is beneficial for the society, if it is bringing impact to our schools, if it is bringing impact to our community, we do the music for you free of charge. We produce the music video as well. If you look on my back here, you see series of activities, right? Yes! Together for the Liberia National Police Alright. So conclusively, the last clap will be for your school. Let me tell you what you're clapping for. All the schools we went to, we provided gasoline. We brought our generators in the Jeep there with our other things. But your school is the one that provided this electricity. Okay, so we turn over to the administration.
I would also want you to join me. Let us give them a hand of applause. On behalf of the administrative team of Jamaica High School, we are so much impressed. So much impressed. We say thank you. We would like to recommend to you people at least to have it recorded in your report. If drugs abuse or whatever was taught here today can be inclusive in our national curriculum, this will help us in Liberia. I heard all the questions that the students asked, and some of those questions, you just have to say something, but you are not in a position to answer those questions. That's the reality. So many parents are in tears. So many parents are in tears for this drugs. And most of those children are from very good schools. They are from very good homes. Where I live, they have more than 10 ghettos there. And sometimes I get so disappointed that people that we expect to arrest those guys, to even warn those children, we see them there. I'm not telling you. So I would like to ask your team to kindly come here again, maybe for the second time. Maybe after your presentation, we have a schedule prepared where we have to organize this Scrum Team club in Jamaica.
Maybe you need a clap for us.
The reason is that the location of the school and our children follow peer pressure. Some of them sometimes they get involved into bad habits, practices, not because they want to, but because of the kind of friends that they move with. And those friends also cannot be despised in our society. So what can we do? We need to educate them. We need to educate our children. So I said thank you so much. I hope to see you guys again very soon, so that at least we can make Liberia a better place.
School Zone Liberia, promoting talents through academics.